Hello everyone. We'll be starting today with unit number 2 of the general organic chemistry, and this is about the classification of organic compounds. As you know that organic compounds are extremely large in number. It was estimated on Wikipedia that around 2019 there were 20 million organic compounds existing either naturally or made synthetically in laboratory. They also say that around half million compounds are almost discovered every year. So you can imagine such a large number of compounds, it's quite difficult to study if they are not classified properly. So to classify these compounds, basically, there are two methods used. First is called the structural way and second, the functional group manner. Both these ways are having their own uses. So we will study and discuss about both of them. The first way, as I'm discussing here, is the structural type of classification. Now, in this single chart, you can see all the types mentioned, and organic compounds you can see are classified in two main ways. One is open chain or acyclic or aliphatic compounds. The second way, as you can see, is closed chain or cyclic compounds. There are different names for the same type. For example, the first one is called open chain, acyclic or aliphatic. These compounds can be either straight chain compounds or branched compounds. Most of the hydrocarbons, that is alkynes, and even several different types of functional groups like alcohols, aldehydes, they all fall in this category. You can see in these compounds that all of them have open chain structure, and either they contain functional group like alkane, double bond means alkene, triple bond means alkyne, functional group like alcohol, or even aldehyde CH double bond O. We will study about the details of functional groups after some time. The second type of system comes is called closed chain, cyclic or ring system. Under this we are having again two different types. If the ring is only made up of carbon atoms, then it is called homocyclic compounds. For example, here we can observe compounds like cyclopentane, cyclohexane. They are having a ring only made up of carbon atoms. If the ring is made up of other than carbon atoms, some other element, then they are called heterocyclic compounds. So over here I have just given you the meanings of the two terms homocyclic, heterocyclic. Now we will see them in quite greater details. So if I see now just homocyclic, also known as alicyclic compounds, the meaning is very simple. The rings are made up of only carbon atoms and they may or may not contain double bonds. If the compounds are only containing single bonds, they are called saturated alicyclic compounds. If they contain double bonds, then they are called unsaturated alicyclic compounds. Usually, alicyclic with triple bond are that way rare and they are unstable. For example, you can see here cyclopentane, first compound, and below its unsaturated variety, cyclopentene. Cyclohexane with 6 carbon atoms, with unsaturated variety, cyclohexene. These all contain only carbon atoms in their rings, so they are called homocyclic. The second type under this is called homocyclic with aromatic, and aromatic compounds are again two types, either benzene-like compounds or non-benzene type compounds. If the compounds contain benzene ring in their structure, they are called benzenoid. Now, I hope everyone knows what is benzene compound from your school level. You can see the first compound here is benzene, which contains a hexagonal ring, alternate double and single bonds. Another compound is having two benzene rings fused into each other. That is called naphthalene. In third compound, a benzene ring is attached with a functional group. The group is NH2 and the compound is called aniline. If compounds contain rings larger than benzene, but they have alternate double and single bond system, they are called non-benzenoid. So you can see the examples over here as tropone and tropolone. In them, the ring is made up of 7 carbon atoms. Alternately, there are double and single bonds, but there are additional functional groups also. Since the rings are different than 6 carbon atoms, they are called non-benzenoid compounds. After homocyclic, we now come to the heterocyclic compounds. Under heterocyclic, the compounds contain rings in which at least one member is other than carbon. Most of the time, the commonly occurring other members are nitrogen, oxygen, or sulfur. Once again, these compounds also can be heterocyclic aromatic or heterocyclic non-aromatic. For example, here we can see heterocyclic aromatic. The word aromatic indicates here alternate double and single bonds in the ring. So compound names are furan, thiophene and pyridine. Furan compound when gets saturated, the compound is called tetrahydrofuran. In pyridine molecule, when there are all the hydrogen atom filled, it is called piperidine molecule. So furan, thiophene, pyridine are aromatic heterocyclic. Tetrahydrofuran and piperidine are non-aromatic heterocyclic. After the classification of structure, let us come to functional group classification. Now, functional group concept definition goes this way, that it can be either an atom or it can be a group of atoms joined with each other and in a specific manner, which is responsible for the characteristic chemical properties of the organic compounds. So, for example, if you see a reaction of ethanol reacting with sodium, it produces a compound sodium ethoxide evolution of hydrogen. Now, if you look at this particular reaction, functional group is OH, that is alcohol, and this will react with sodium metal producing hydrogen gas. Now, if you consider any type of alcohol, this particular reaction of sodium is always going to take place. That becomes a characteristic reaction of functional group OH. Every alcohol molecule will show this type of reaction. So, if you now classify functional group in different manner, they can be classified as functional group with carbon, double bond carbon or triple bond, groups containing elements like nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, halogens, groups containing carbon, double bond oxygen, and other miscellaneous groups. So one by one, now let us see these particular groups. First we will see the functional group with carbon-carbon multiple bonds. Now here I will be showing you the groups and also I will give you some examples. Also there will be one general formula mentioned. What you are supposed to remember right now is how the functional group looks like and what is its general formula. Do not give right now much importance to the nomenclature that we will be doing in the next unit. So the first group which we see is alkane. Alkanes have general formula CnH2n plus 2 and we know different examples of alkanes like methane, ethane, propane, butane, etc. The second functional group after that is alkene, which has a general formula CnH2n, and we have seen different examples of alkene even in school level as ethene, propene, butene, pentene and so on. After double bond, the next functional group is triple bond alkyne with a general formula CnH2n-2. You can see in the name also, the name ends with YNE, that is ethine, propyne, butane, and so on. The next group after that is aromatic group. Aromatic groups do not have general formula, it's only general structure what we see. Benzene ring is C6H6. So from that, if you remove a hydrogen, you can place either a functional group or an alkyl group or anything. So that is written as C6H5R. Several examples are given which you will be doing subsequently in different chapters. The next group which we are going to study are basically alkyl groups. In alkyl groups, from an alkane, hydrogen is removed to write an alkyl group. From where we have deleted the hydrogen, there the functional group will be placed. For example, from methane you can see first compound, one hydrogen has been deleted. So where that dash incompleteness is shown, there we can place a functional group like say OH. So the compound will be called methyl alcohol. Similarly, we have different groups coming from different alkanes. First, in the beginning of 11th standard, you should know these 8 alkyl groups by heart. That is methyl, ethyl, N-propyl, isopropyl, N-butyl, isobutyl, sec-butyl and tert-butyl. Continuing with the different functional groups ahead, we can see here the first one coming is haloalkane, also known as alkyl halide. They will contain some halogen atom connected to the carbon chain. So the way to recognize or remember this is halogen's presence. Second very popular group is alcohol, which contains OH group, and the general formula can be written as CnH2n plus 1 OH, or more popularly written as CnH2n plus 2 O, where hydrogen is combined with 2n plus 1. Different examples are there like ethanol, tertiary butyl alcohol, and so on. Next group is ether, where two alkyl groups are connected to oxygen atom. The groups connected to oxygen can be same groups or they can be different groups also. The next one is coming from ammonia, that is amine. Now amines have a very general formula as CnH2n plus 3N. Amines are of three types. Primary amine, where it is RNH2. Second is called secondary amine, where two alkyl groups are connected to nitrogen. Tertiary amine, where three alkyl groups are connected to nitrogen. If we see different examples here, we can observe that first compound contains NH2. So when it is NH2, that is primary amine. When it is NH, it is secondary amine, and when it's only N, it is tertiary amine. In case of carbon double bonded oxygen, we have a family called carbonyl groups. In carbonyl family, the first example is aldehyde, which is CH double bond O. Aldehydes have general formula CnH2nO, and different examples are known like formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, benzaldehyde, etc. Everywhere you can observe the common functional group as CHO. Another member of carbonyl group is ketone. In ketone, as I have marked here in the pink color, C double bond O is the group connected to either two similar alkyl groups or two different alkyl groups. So two alkyl groups connected to CO is called ketone functional group. Then we have a huge family of groups called carboxylic acid and its family. So in carboxylic acid, basic group is COOH. General formula is CnH2nO2. And as you know, different examples like methanoic acid, ethanoic, propanoic, and so on. The way to remember the group is COOH. From carboxylic acid, we generate different other functional groups. Now here I have given some reactions so that you find it little easy to remember how the group is created. For example, in first example here reaction, you can see two carboxylic acid groups are linking to remove a water molecule. The group is called acid anhydride group. One of the example of acid anhydride is ethanoic or acetic anhydride. The word anhydride indicates loss of water. Second group is when acid reacts with alcohol, it produces a group ester. Ester group contains RCOOR. Here in this structure I have shown acid, first acetic acids, last hydrogen is replaced with a CH3 group. That gives us an ester. Another one coming under this is acid chloride, where OH of the acid is replaced by chlorine atom. Actually speaking, we can have replacement with bromine and iodine also, but the most stable compounds are with chlorine. One of the example here you can see is CH3CH2 COCl. This is called acid chloride. Fourth among this is amide. We had seen earlier amine functional group. This is amide functional group, CONH2. Amide group has CO connected with the NH2 group, and amide is of three types. The first type is called primary amide, where it is CONH2. Another is secondary amide, CONH, and third is CON, that's tertiary amide. This is a compound wherein we can observe all sorts of amide together. On the left hand side CONH2, in the middle CONH, and later tertiary amide CON without a hydrogen. The last two groups coming under carboxylic acid are cyanide or nitrile and isocyanide. Here the main difference in the group is of CN group, what is connected to R. If R is connected to carbon, it's called cyanide, and if R is connected to nitrogen, it is called isocyanide. This is one single exercise wherein I have taken some complicated compound and we will study which functional groups are present at the marked positions. For example, if you see this one, whatever is written, you try to read, open up the structure and see what group might be present. This is COO C2H5, which you can think as COOR, and COOR is ester group. Similarly, here we can see CH3NH. So RNH becomes secondary amine. Over here we can see C double bond O group connected with both the sides carbon atom. That makes a ketone group. On the left hand side here we can see a clear OH functional group, which is alcohol. Above that we can see CONHR. CONH was secondary amide group. And the last above that you can see just a nitrogen connected to alkyl group, that is tertiary amine. In examinations, unless you know how to recognize the alkyl groups, you can't proceed further in organic chemistry. One more group here which is embedded in the structure is CH2CH2 COCH2, which is nothing but a ketone functional group. After learning functional group, and before we proceed next time with the nomenclature part, we must know something about types of carbon atoms. Here we can see, focus on the red carbon atom which is marked. Now this red carbon atom, this one, is connected to only one other carbon which is painted as green. So this carbon is called primary carbon atom. So what is a primary carbon atom? Carbon atom connected to only one other carbon is primary. If you see this one, it is connected to two other carbon atoms, that is called secondary. This particular carbon is connected to three other carbon atoms, that is called tertiary, and this carbon is connected to four other carbon atoms, that is called quaternary carbon. If you observe about the hydrogen atoms in them, primary carbon is connected to three hydrogen atoms, secondary is connected to two hydrogen, tertiary is connected to one hydrogen, and quaternary is not connected with any direct hydrogen atoms. In knowing the types of compounds, this exercise is very important. Let us solve one problem based on this. If this is a compound present where you can see the primary carbon atoms, whatever is the last terminal carbon, that's a primary carbon. So for example, whatever I have marked as 1 degree, they are all primary carbon. So there are totally 5 primary carbon, 5 into 3, 15 primary hydrogen. If you see a secondary carbon, you can see it's only one in the structure and 2 atoms are secondary hydrogen. Tertiary carbon is only one, quaternary carbon is also only one. This kind of identification comes even in college exams as well as competitive exams. We come to the concept of homologous series. I hope you have done this even in school level. This is a series of compounds in which every compound in the series differs from the previous and the next one with difference of CH2. For example, in this alkane series, first compound methane, if I add CH2, I will get a next compound C2H6. If I add CH2 to this, I get a next compound C3H8. This can happen with every series like alcohol, amine, aldehyde, everywhere. They are all called homologous series. Homologous series has some characteristic of them. Like for example, few characteristics which you have studied in school level, that all these compounds have a same general formula. They contain even same functional group. Their every member differs from each other by unit of 14, which is a mass of CH2, and all of them can be prepared by same method of preparation. If you add a particular carbon atom, you will get a next higher homologue. For example, if they ask you fourth higher homologue of ethyl alcohol, we have to add 4 carbon atoms to the series and you will get the hexyl alcohol. Similarly, subtraction of carbon atoms will produce the next lower homologue. So for example, from C4H9, if you subtract 2 carbon atoms, you will get lower homologues. This is a series of homologues of alcohol series, where I have labeled them as first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. They are called methyl, ethyl, propyl, butyl, and so on. Going down the series, we get higher homologues. Going upward in the series, we generate lower homologues. This is completing our unit number 2 of the topic. We will be now continuing after this with nomenclature in the next unit.